People are like, bro, why are you so relaxed, man? And I'm like, I'm so chilled out because I have XRP and I've got a big bag of XRP, and it's only a matter of time before it absolutely goes berserk. And it looks like the floodgates are opening up, to quote one of the videos that I saw earlier today. And absolutely true. The stars are aligning. I know that in a way, there was a bit of a hype train, I think about half a year ago, about this is going to the moon, da, 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 da. But if you think back enough, it actually did a 5x following that hype train. So it did kind of come to fruition. I mean, if you put a significant amount behind XRP in the right time and you did a 5x, some people are happy to sell a 5x, right? Some people are happy to 10x, which isn't far away. That's another sort of doubling in price from the previous all-time highs, and we're at a 10x from the beginning of last year, for instance. Anyway, the general crypto market is looking up. Bitcoin flirting with 95,000 today. It actually breached it slightly a couple of days ago. So there's a bit of resistance around that. But once that's broken, I believe we're going to head for that 100,000 mark. And with the inflows into the ETFs, it's only a matter of time before that actually happens, when they buy up all the resistance. As you can see, even the fear greed index is looking nice at neutral. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were at extreme fear. So it seems that even though we're having this macro issues around the world, more remarkably, the US-China issues with the tariff wars and stuff, there's other things as well. A looming recession, etc. Looks like things are looking up, and there's a flight to Bitcoin as it outperforms gold as store of value in these crazy times. Anyway, this video is more about XRP than anything else. But before that, I just wanted to mention again, shout out to Arizona. The legislature has passed a Bitcoin reserve bill, which is moving closer to stockpiling crypto. So they haven't said it's stockpiling yet, but it's moving through the legislature and it's looking good. And I think that other states are going to do the same thing or something very similar. So again, the United States nationally will be stockpiling, but then the states also will be stockpiling. So there's about to be the supply shock of a generation. So looking at XRP, the price is not actually reflecting the epic news. I think as we're still coupled with Bitcoin at the moment, but there is relatively epic news, and it's the kind of sign that even more epic news is about to drop. Now, first of all, I want to do the obvious one, which is the ETFs. Tomorrow, we're going to see a trio of XRP ETFs, albeit leveraged ETFs, a trio of new funds: Ultra XRP ETF, Short XRP ETF, Ultra Short. Now, these are leveraged ETFs, so they're kind of like futures, I believe. And these futures ETFs, I don't know why they get approved nearly immediately. They're favored by the SEC and traditional finance than spot stuff. And here's the documentation. So tomorrow, we're going to see that start to trade. And that basically familiarizes the token with the establishment traders, the traditional finance people, Wall Street, etc., and institutional money. But look, there is a colossal amount of XRP ETFs that have been filed. I think these are 19. These are spot ETFs, by the way. So when they get approved, they're all going to get approved at the same time, in my opinion, because they've all been filed and they're just waiting for the say so. And why would they approve one and not the other? So expect to see an avalanche of XRP ETFs when the approval comes in, which is going to be, in my opinion, sooner rather than later. So that's epic news. The other epic news that I'm actually more excited about is this, right? I made a video about this, well, a bunch of videos about this, because I bang on and on and on about when it comes to tokenization of real world assets, that a lot of the actual money is going to come from real estate. And every time I make this video, there's inevitably somebody in the comment section that tells me, I don't understand why anyone's going to tokenize real estate, because they can't wrap their head around the concept of real estate tokenization. But rest assured that people will wrap their heads around it once the money starts to flow in. Here is a prediction by Deloitte. I think that's how it's pronounced. They predict $4 trillion tokenized real estate on blockchain by 2035. Now, obviously, this isn't XRP specific. This is just generally all tokens that, or all projects that do RWA tokenization will, basically the market cap of that genre or that category of crypto or blockchain or whatever would be 4 trillion in 10 years. Now, first thing is I believe that there's going to be a lot more than that. This is, in my opinion, a conservative prediction. I also think that XRP is going to be the lion's share of this. We're going to have, obviously, HBAR, Hedera projects going to be playing quite a lot when it comes to this. They're going to play a big role too. So a lot of you guys hold both, right? You hold HBAR, you hold XRP. So either way, you're going to win big in the coming years, right? But we're also going to get Ondo Finance and all those guys playing a huge role. In fact, this article does quote Ondo Finance because they're like sort of for whatever reason, they're the forefront of this stuff at the moment, right? Especially after sitting down with the SEC just a couple of days ago to discuss the legislation around this stuff. Now, it always just baffles me how much has changed in the last 4 years. In the last bull run, we didn't have any of this stuff going on. In fact, we had quite the opposite. We had countries, organizations, lobbying against this stuff. People were saying, ban Bitcoin, ban this. We had, Gary Gensler was in full force suing absolutely everyone and their mother and their dog that tried to do anything at all. But now we have institutions coming up with different products and different predictions. People are talking about 4 trillion. People are talking about $13 trillion. And this is coming primarily probably from the United States only. But then realize that, again, in my opinion, rather, I think most of the money is going to actually come from Asia. Tokenization of real world assets from Chinese real estate. That's where I think most of the money is going to come from. But I sound kind of crazy to people, but everyone sounds crazy until the thing actually happens. Now, if you tell me, or if you had told me 8 years ago that BlackRock was going to buy Bitcoin, I would have punched you in the face. Wake up from your stupid dream, I would have told you. But here we are. We have BlackRock, JP Morgan, Fidelity, ARK Invest, the president of the United States, China, everybody's basically shuffling behind Bitcoin and scrambling for as much of it as they can. And we have Bitcoin having gone over $100,000 each. And if I were to tell you that one day Bitcoin is going to be worth over $1 million, you would punch me in the face and say I'm completely dumb, wake up from your sleep, yada, yada. But that's only a 10x from here. And if you look at all of these things that are happening, countries stockpiling them, investment banks buying them, everyone hoarding them, everyone building a Bitcoin strategy, the fall of the dollar, RLUSD, tokenization of real world assets, blah, 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 blah. The market cap is going to go ballistic. And when we have this supply shock, the price is just going to jet right up, just so that we can, it can fit all of the money that's trying to get into it, right? All of the value that's trying to be stored as Bitcoin. For it to fit into Bitcoin, then the price has to go up. It just has to. And sort of the same thing is going to happen with XRP, with all these utilities that we're seeing popping up all over the place. Now, this isn't financial advice, naturally. It's your own research. Peace.